So today is July 26, Lumpur Pasano's birthday. He's probably pretty much completed any celebrations that are happening, since they're a number of hours later in Thailand than we are here. But we can use the opportunity to reflect on Lumpur and all the goodness and service that he has offered to us over so many years, and send waves of appreciation over in that direction. And also just recollecting he's 69 years old, and the aging process continues for all of us. And how much importance we should be putting on considering developing our insight into how we identify with body and mind, and the fact that when it starts to change and get older, get sicker, then if we're attached to youth and energy and health, then when those things start their natural decline, then we suffer. So the huge amount of our work, if not almost all of it, is letting go of that attachment to body and mind, and the fact that really much of this process is pretty much out of our control. I certainly see it myself, just not only in the energy of the body, but the energy and capacity of the mind, the intellectual abilities. Generally, I've enjoyed a fairly clear process, cognitive process for my life, and just starting to notice. It could be also with the increase in the amount of input that's coming in these days, but just the inability to handle multiple bits of input coming in somewhat rapid succession. Just even this morning, there was just a number of people asking some questions that required some sort of processing that I just wasn't able to do until I had my cup of tea. And it's just interesting to watch somebody ask a question and myself just being completely unable to think of an answer, not even a complex question, but just needing to get a bit more awake and a bit more alert to be able to process information that I used to be able to just process so quickly. A lot of people always, a lot of older people, when you talk to them, they say, well, I can handle the loss of ability in my physical functioning in my body, but I just hope I never lose my mind. I hope I never lose my intellectual capacity. That I want to stay clear. I want to be absolutely intact mentally until the time I die. It would just be too horrible not to be that way. But just realizing that there's no choice in that either. Intellectual capacities decline for many, if not most people. A few rare people keep very sharp and intact right up till the end, but not very often. And that if we identify ourselves with the ability to think and process information, communicate clearly, and be seen as rationally, mentally competent, then the potential is that we will really suffer when those abilities decline. So to just be able to get some separation from ownership of that's not who we are. Just as much as this body is something that has its own course, its own nature, it will age, it will get sick, it will die. So too is the intellectual capacity. Very likely that it will decline, it will be more difficult to remember things, it will be more difficult to process information. And the potential is there if we live into a very old age that we just won't be able to, compute things in a normal way at all. But to be able to not identify with that, to be able to step back from that and say, oh, that's just the brain deteriorating. It's just, a normal thing that happens as aging. And to be able to hold that with lightness, with humor, maybe a little bit of humility helps. And then to just at some point probably have to surrender care of the body, care of the mind to other people, and trust in their good intentions and goodwill to carry through these 5 khandhas until they completely pass away. It takes a lot of trust and a lot of courage, really, to just face up to that and surrender to that eventuality. So the more we can prepare for it now, the easier we will hopefully be to take care of when the time comes that we need to allow ourselves to be completely dependent again, as we were when we were born. So offer that for this morning's reflection.